much, Bryce? Yes, but I tell you what, nothing gives me goosebumps like watching a hometown crowd root on their boys. You saw Insight in the front. He's getting hyped, and they have got to be ready to roll versus this Paris Legion squad, buddy. This is an elimination game. I mean, no points are awarded for the team that goes home. $0 in your pocket. A lot on the line.
There's a lot on the line for both of these teams. Obviously, Toronto looking for the bounce back from that series yesterday versus Atlanta FaZe. And then for Paris Legion, they need something, man. Yeah. Only 2 wins on this entire season. But the good thing for them is one of them is actually versus the Toronto Ultra all the way into Game 5. So who knows what can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we've learned so far here at the Toronto Major is that anything is possible. I'll tell you what, man, the maps and modes are pretty easy to remember. Bocage, then we've got triple Tuskens, and then a Desert Siege in game number 5. Jay, you see the maps and modes. You also see the map bans. What are your thoughts, all things considered, on this?
Well, you take a look at these maps and modes, especially on the Paris Legion side. They only have 1 map out of the entire 5 that they have a positive record on, and it's going to be that Tusken Search and Destroy. So they have to make sure that they're able to secure that. But based off of this map, number 1 on the Bocage hardpoint, this is where Paris Legion need to show me something. Like I said, throughout all of Stage 3, they do not get a single win. Their map count was literally 5 and 15. Hasn't been good. But this is a map where the last time that these 2 teams matched up, it was Paris Legion able to walk away with it. Yeah, it was indeed. And one thing as well, I mean, I feel like every time that we've casted over Paris Legion or watched them lately, they've been playing some Bocage. So while the record doesn't look amazing, they at least have the reps. That is without a doubt. They're prepared. I think they knew coming into this series what we were going to start off with, and we'll see if they can give Toronto Ultra their best. But Toronto, let's make some noise for the home team. Love to hear it. We love to hear it. Ultra, tell you what, man, if they were to make a run through the elimination bracket, they're going to need all the help that they can get. A gauntlet indeed, but for them, it starts with Paris. We'll see if they can get it done. Bocage, here we go. Starting things off at P1, trades either way. And the biggest thing to look at in this series is definitely what the Des touched on. The keys to victory for both of these squads has to be the SMG presence on both sides. You have John and Jimbo basically dead last throughout Stage 3, and then CleanX and Bance faced 0.8s yesterday versus Atlanta FaZe. You need them to have a great performance here.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And one thing as well the Paris are going to have to look out for is not just the SMGs on the other side, but it's going to be the ARs. They also had a phenomenal performance in that game versus Atlanta FaZe. And Jay, that series started off on Bocage. Toronto absolutely took it to them, and the guy who was doing it primarily was Insight. Goes on like a 9 or 10 spree without a doubt. Put some fear in the back of the minds of FaZe, but a solid start for Toronto. Not a ton of seconds on the board, but they've got that spawn for next set up.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing Toronto were focused on, not really giving up a lot of time to Paris Legion, but also keeping the spawns for this P2. But Gravity finding that 2-piece, John with the third, only 1 player left on the side of the backside for Toronto Ultra before the spawns do come in. So now Paris Legion with 45. Can hold this down from the front. John gonna be the cutoff man from middle. Mack just cutting down every single player, trying to attack from water. But eventually Gravity, he's gonna pick up right where he left off. Gravity on this map as well. A 1.2, the standout player for Paris Legion.
Yeah, that's the primary reason I feel like, Jay, while they keep playing this map is because it only continues to heat up. Mr. Tom Gravity, 9 and 2 to start. A lot of it was because of that double nade, and a very interesting spot because they don't have spawns the entire time, Paris, but they are able to hold from that front side. John locking things down with the M19. I think it's the first time that we've been able to see it here in Toronto. But you can without a doubt expect to see it a decent amount of time here in Grandma's. Kills go back and forth, but it's a great victory for Insight toward the back lines. And it looks as if Toronto once more have got the spawn. We'll see if they can hold it though.
You see Gravity, he's still on that fire screen. So he's just going to take his time around this tank area, at least try to take down 1, but fortunately he gets cut down. So now Ultra, full control of the backside. They just have to win these initial gunfights. John and Jimbo combined for 2. They break on in. John's going to not slow down. Attacks towards back window with that M19. Now on a 3 spree.
I might have to bring this one out myself. Okay. M19's doing some work. Instead of Grandma's, and Gravity's picking up kill after kill, at least peppers up 1 toward the outside of the tower, but just like that, the SMGs come roaring through. 2 for Bance and 2 for CleanX. Bance eventually falls, but Toronto are right back in this game, nearing grabbing that advantage themselves. Already thinking about the rotation, it's gonna be Paris, but more specifically, CleanX toward the top of this barn roof could quickly cause some issues. We'll see if Legion can stop him or if he can find the timing. Looks as if he'll sneak in. Player intent's not gonna spot him just yet. Tobias trying to make the play. Now on 4 in a row. quickly getting tagged up, but he's got his teammates with him. Jay flipped the spawns.
But CleanX just picking up that one kill was so massive. Now Toronto Ultra are spawning towards the back. Bance and Cammy combined for 2. Bance with 2, so now 3 down. All of Paris Legion are going to consistently spawn over towards that bottom Grandma's. Toronto are going to be able to take this lead if they can get these players out of this point. Gravity doing a great job of at least finding one, allowing his teammates to eventually collapse. The pitch is coming in from the back in Paris Legion. Successful break.
Successful break, and also when you look at the stats right now for Legion, granted we are just still in the first set of rotations, but a healthy beginning for really almost everybody on the team. Gravity, despite just dropping there, 12 and 6. You got John at least even. Temp starting to heat up as well. So again, a very consistent effort from this Legion team. Again, very early in this bocage, but maybe some sunny skies ahead here on this very map. It's going to get quite interesting as we only look to continue, but P5 is ready, and up next, a neck-and-neck game once more. Toronto with the spawns. Gravity doing everything he can to try to win a few gunfights toward the back. He gets halted, and now that hill lays vacant.
And that's Ultra once again with about 5 to 10 seconds remaining on that P4. They were able to just push out, be aggressive, win every single gunfight now to flip these spawns. Just to have one player. You have to focus on the player that's going to be sitting in towards top tower, which is Jimbo. Ooh. Doing a great job of just staying alive, doing so well that Toronto Ultra are still going to spawn in towards the back. All of Paris Legion fully set up for this trap.
And Insight's going to do all he can. The nade comes through. Perfect timing and coordination there out of Toronto to get Gravity out of the best position possible toward the back. They cut him down, and now they've got an opportunity. They've got a lane, but John is holding it. Now sitting on 3 in a row. Jay, you do not want to allow for John to go off. Granted, has not had some great stats, but we have seen those pop-off moments from him.
We know John's history. MVP at Call of Duty World Champs. The guy is very talented, just for some reason in his Paris Legion roster hasn't really been putting up the best stats. But so far answering the call in this map number 1, Paris Legion. Now it comes down to the rotation at P1. Last time both of these teams got to this hard point, Ultra and Paris, it was like 11 seconds for a 60-second hill. Neither one of these squads are going to try to get a majority of time here. The main focus is going to be those spawns. But Paris Legion at least find that 2-piece, make it 3. Now they can get some time.
We'll see if Paris can honestly finally crack the code. As Toronto once more trying to play for that P2. They will have that spawn for the current moment. But as we said, their last, really 4 of their last 5 opening hard points have been on this very map. Only 1 W to speak from, despite how closely they have been playing in the slang role. As I talk about it, I mean, trying to crack the code, and Toronto just fire through with 4 of their own. Insight and CleanX erupt for a few, and Jay, take a look at CleanX's numbers, 22 and 18 in engagement machine right now.
CleanX is not slowing down on a 4-speed before he does get shut down. But look at those spawns for Paris Legion. That's going to be John slipping his way through that water side. Now flips those spawns for Paris to get fully set up. Trades going back and forth into bottom barn, but John and Jimbo combined for 2. Now they know that the pressure is going to be in towards bottom barn and Paris Legion. They did a great job of it in the first rotation. With Ultra having those back spawns, they can only average about 15 points. But this time, Paris Legion with the spawns, holding it down.
And this is a scary time. This is a scary time if you're Toronto. You do not want to allow for Paris to get any unnecessary points, as they do look to break on in. Thankfully, a nice nade helps them out, but on the other end, it's Gravity who comes through with one of his own. In the meantime, throughout that feed, it's the SMGs who continue to cause some issues for that Legion front. Gravity trying to win a close one toward top barn. 10 seconds left over at that field, and Toronto contests for as long as they needed to. Jimbo with a big double now prepares them over at Grandma's. And based off of a few positions, Jay, it looks as if they've also won that rotation, possibly. A big gunfight to win, but Temp looks as if he's going to walk away with the trades. Paris go big, and now they've got the preferred positioning.
And now that's 4 dead. Toronto Ultra just need to slow this down. Stop going 1 by 1 with staggered pushes, because Paris Legion are capitalized on it. Gravity, like I said, 1.2 on this map, 24 and 14 right now on a 5 spree. He can pick up this glide bomb. That's going to cause problems for Toronto Ultra. Paris Legion right now is just playing so damn well.
They are indeed. A great little moment right now for Paris. The spawn's being held, and Gravity trying to see if he can grab that glide bomb. 1 away, pulls out the 40, slides back and forth, eventually cut down. But nonetheless, a solid beginning for Paris. Let's step aside and see how the comms are sounding with Legion.
No, hold the 15. Going out. One shot. CleanX.
Front souls, one shot.
Yeah, one top. Yes, all day.
Alright, top bar.
All day. One more T2.
top barn.
Okay, everyone take
see
breath.
him
Let's take our time here. I'm helping you mid.
Hold it.
Nice, good shit. I'm helping in stack. I'm helping out stack. Let's go.
Top barn, one shot, top barn, one shot.
I needed T1. I stunned him. He's one shot CleanX. And big door Cammy. And T1. Big door T1.
Big one kill here.
Big door T1, just contest. Let's play contest.
Okay, I'm going
Contest. I need a single inside. Nice. Just contest, Brian. I'll chop. Okay, I'm chop big. We're playing big. Hold on, he has a free kill. Nice. I go on inside, one shot. There, all there. Oh, fuck. Let me.
Yeah, it's T1.
Alright, just peek. I have AR.
One more out single. Single fast. Bance.
Single.
Nice, good shit.
They're still there. Still spawning there.
I'm needing over again.
Flood.
Alright,
He's only single side. I stunned him. Single.
Yeah, one.
Challenge.
I have left. He's one shot for you.
Wait, one shot? Bance? One shot, single Bance.
Yeah,
Comms right there for Paris Legion sound great. The biggest thing that I took away though was just Temp telling his teammates to always play contest, because you can see that game clock can potentially come into play as Paris Legion are going to breach that 200-point mark. They're fully set up off the rotation. Toronto have just been a step behind in every single one of these hills.
Yeah, they've been a step behind, but they can't afford for that to happen anymore. CleanX wins a big one inside of the point. That will allow for Ultra to accrue a few more seconds inside, not in the preferred spot for the moment. Has to hop inside the hill himself, the AR in hand, but he's able to at least take down one. Legion fighting tooth and nail for every point, as CleanX is at least able to stop things for now. But as we said, Paris sit in such a great position, Jay. We know in Bocage, you can play the time. You can really hop outside of the hard point and make the opponent start to sweat. And right now, if you're a Toronto fan, you are absolutely sweating. 217 to 133. Nothing can get going right now for Ultra.
Nothing right now for Toronto is working. Now we find ourselves on the third rotation towards this B1. Toronto Ultra averaged about 15 points for the first two rotations on this hill specifically. But now when you're down by this much, with only 50 seconds remaining in the game, you see Paris Legion, their game plan is just to simply stay off of that point. Try to find every single kill in the feed. And they're doing a great job of doing so, but CleanX with 3 in the feed is now gonna force all of Paris Legion off spawn. Now with 35 seconds, they need to try to chain this with some good time here to get back into this one.
And they call upon CleanX. As Cammy drops, they call upon him, and he's not able to win it. Jimbo sends him to the Shadow Realm, for God's sake. As we said, Toronto, they knew exactly where the spawn was coming from, but they get peeled off instantly. A great little setup for Toronto, but Legion are there again. Consistency across the board right now for Paris. 20 seconds from calling this one theirs, and Donnie Temp feels himself right now. 4 in a row, 32 and 26, playing for spawns, and also cuts down Bance in the meantime. Legion are heading their way to the finish line.
And he's one off that glide bomb, but it might not even come into play as Paris Legion 5 seconds away from closing out this map. Number 1, Temp picks it up. 24 seconds remaining. Temp on an 8 spree. Let's just call in the glide bomb. The game is over. Paris Legion answer at map number 1.
I like that. We got Gravity chirping across the stage. We said we wanted to see some fire from Paris. They needed to take that first hard point, and they do exactly that. Not just a Bocage victory, but a dominant Bocage victory on top of it. Everybody popping off. Gravity had some amazing moments. Temp finishes off 36 and 26. Impressive work for Paris and Jay. After such a long time of playing Bocage, they finally got another W here.
They beat this team last time that they played on it. It wasn't this dominant, but Paris Legion, they came out slaying from the gates. Obviously, Gravity 36 and 21, 1.2 originally on this map. 31 non-traded kills was really the tone setter to start off this game, but for me, it came down to that P2 hardpoint. That's usually the money here for Toronto Ultra, where they average about 30 points. But you saw it right off the rip of the game. Once they were fully set up, they had the back spawns. Paris Legion did a great job of just consistently contesting that point until about 15 seconds left, where Ultra were able to get that. Yep. But for it to be your money hill, you need to make sure when you get a clean 4 dead, you have to be pushed out and give yourself layers of defense so your hill is not easily broken. right there were just way too many mistakes on the side of Ultra, not enough slaying power to match the power on the side of Paris Legion. And now we're going into a search and destroy where, if you're Paris Legion, before I said, this is their only positive map throughout this entire maps and modes. And so far, when they're up 1-0, confidence is on their side.
Yeah, it absolutely is. That's the thing that we know, right? When it comes down to land, Paris do perform better. I don't know exactly how many W's it's been. I think it's only one online victory, but the other ones have come from this land environment. Paris not being in that facility, when they're all able to be in the same room together, be sitting on that main stage, it's going to hit a little bit different, man. It's going to hit a little bit different. Paris, an excellent start off in this series, and I got to say, that quickly puts some panic in the Toronto camp.
100%, man. Like, especially when you played that map so close versus Atlanta FaZe.
Yeah.
You let it slip by the last, like, 2 to 3 hard points at the end of that map, number 1. But then in that one, it was just a complete smack show. Like, no one came, no one was positive on that side for Toronto Ultra.
Right.
They just need to completely forget that map and go into the search and destroy, doing what they do best, and that's winning a majority of their attacking rounds.
Yeah, and we'll go and take a look at our search and destroy top performers throughout the season, both for the Toronto Ultra and for the Paris Legion. Right now, Insight leads the way for the team. A great KD, a 1.20 on the other side. Meanwhile, no surprises here. Temp lead the way for this team as well, a 1.02, Jay.
Yeah, Temp leads his team in every single category for every single game mode. The guy's been a man on a mission so far this season. And then on the opposite side, Insight, Mr. Clutch, 1.2 in search and destroy, but I'll do you better. 1.4 specifically on this Tuscan search and destroy.
Okay.
So, Insight, put him in a 1v2. If you're Paris Legion, make sure you play the buddy system because he definitely has the firepower and the brains to clutch up those rounds.
Yeah, and obviously he has that, you know, that little break throughout the Major 3 qualifiers where he's not able to play. We saw Scrappy come in for the lineup and we wondered, okay, what is that going to do for this Toronto team? Is it going to cause some issues? Cammy's talking about how he has to play a little bit slower. Insight comes right back in, and I feel like he's never been better. Honestly, I don't know if that's the sickness that he's, you know, finally recovered back from, if it was the little break that helped him out, but ever since that moment, he has taken over, and they are going to need him in this search to destroy. Obviously had a great series yesterday versus the Atlanta FaZe. That was not enough, but as we know it, you obviously can have your star players, but it's got to be a team effort. And Paris, they're able to say that after the first W. They had that team effort. They had everybody flying and frying. Players had their moments, and more specifically, the SMGs were out to play.
SMGs came to play right there for the Paris Legion, especially John, even with the M19, not with the MP40 in his hand, was still putting up numbers right there to assist Gravity and Temp in that map number 1. Now going into this map number 2, like I said, this is going to be an all-out banger between both of these squads because Paris Legion on their side, they're number 1 on the defensive side with 61% win percentage. And then on the opposite side for Toronto, they're second overall with a 57% win rate on their attacking round. So defense versus offense. Paris Legion a little bit better on the defensive side, but there's a lot of firepower for Toronto Ultra and a lot of mid-game adjustments that they do during search and destroy.
Yeah, without question, and I feel like if you are Toronto Ultra, instantly pointing this 1-0 hole, you got to be looking out for a few players. It feels like Jimbo could be one of those guys who oftentimes it feels like on Tuscan is getting aggressive in the middle of the map, and you never know, man. Donnie Tip, when he's feeling himself, he's also happy to bring out the big guns. We've seen him bring out the sniper a time or two and do some real damage with it here on the Tuscan, but you see the records, an 8-4 one there for Toronto, 5-2 for Paris. Both teams well seasoned, but as we said, it feels like when it comes to map records, so far throughout the Toronto Major, you can throw a majority of those out the window. If you, like we said, you are a Toronto fan, you're holding on to these stats as much as you can. Any bit of momentum, any bit of positivity, you'll take it rolling into this search and destroy. Starting things off with Paris on the attack, and it is Temp striking first.
That's unfortunate for Insight. He was bringing in 10. Turns that corner, finds that first blood. Jimbo and John combine for the second. So now in the 4v2, CleanX does make it a 2v3. Cammy does spot 1, but now in the 1v2, John's just gonna rush onto that player, find the kill. And a really, really quick round for Paris Legion to go up 1-0.
Yeah, very quick round. I mean, they walk away with the first blood. They go for the 2-2 split, and still, John rocking out the M19. I'm not sure if we've seen that like in Search Destroy, or if we have, at least not on Tuscan, but I don't know, maybe giving us some Volk vibes, possibly. But a great starter there for Paris, as we said, on the attack. Make some real noise happen. And speaking of noise, the fans in Toronto trying to rally behind their Ultra boys. As here we go into their first attack attempt, once again cracking through with the sniper, not able to land that shot. But as we said, the SMGs love to be aggressive, and John on his belly.
John is playing this perfectly. He knows that at least one player from Toronto is still going to try to hold down this cut, but does John pick up this kill? Yes, he does. First blood for Paris Legion, but Bance immediately answers. Now in the 3v3. See the bomb for Toronto Ultra, slowly trying to work its way up through middle fountain. You have one player in insight, who's going to be trying to give all the information towards that field side. Paris Legion look like they're willing to give up this bomb plant. They're just basically giving them all mid-map control. Should be a free A plant for Ultra.
That's the one thing too, whenever you do have a sniper on Tuscan, right? They nade him out and they instantly realize all the pressure's gonna come in from middle. They have the opportunities and now they've got the angles. Another nice one coming in from Benjamin Bance. Cuts down gravity and now it leaves it to a 2 versus 3. Timp and Jimbo.
CleanX is in a great spot to at least find one. Jumps right into the pre-aim. It's gonna be Jimbo, but then Temp tries to do everything he can with the sniper pistol. Toronto Ultra just have way too many players around that mid-map area ready to play that trade. And even though they ended up getting first blooded there, Toronto Ultra able to come out on top in the round, tied up 1.
They're tying up at 1. And as we said, a big moment for Toronto just to get around on the board, get some confidence streaming your way. But as we said, it really starts when Tim gets out of that angle from field. Once he gets out of that position, it allows for Toronto to funnel in. And they take advantage when the big man on the map for Paris is out of the way. Well, here we go. Snipers have been out, they've been the story. But our first 2 rounds, can they be it again? Insight with some early shots, but it's CleanX there to walk away with all 4. That's gotta be a record-setting ace. Watch it again, watch it again. 2, 3, and 4. Oh my goodness.
Every player on the side of that A-bomb site had to have either gotten hit by a nade because CleanX shoots like 10 bullets and finds 3 kills, and then the 11th bullet to find the 4th. Everyone was absolute one shot, and CleanX is able to come out on top with the ace. Now on a 5 spree. That is potentially the round that Toronto Ultra needed to get some momentum underneath their belt. As CleanX is not going to try to slow down. Trying to at least be aggressive in through P5, not allowing anyone to slip through and go through that late flank. Toronto Ultra just taking their time, trying to play for that information.
CleanX wants to go for the aggressive route through P5. Trades are in, Cammy for 1, Tip with the other. Next does decide to go ahead and grab back, go for the bomb. And really, it's been Jimbo the entire time. He knows that somebody's going to be lingering around this position. With John being where he is, Jimbo will remain.
Now it's all on Jimbo. At least in a great spot to hold down this P5, but the bomb is slowly approaching through mid-fountain. You have Insight watching his first cut. Forces John to reposition himself. Now with 25 seconds left, this can be a difficult round to win because you still have to worry about John on your flank.
Gotta worry about John, Tim. Really the eyes and ears right now for Paris. Oh, and John gets cut away. As soon as he falls, Jimbo realizes now's the time to push through P5. He's been so patient. Oh, but it doesn't pay off. He doesn't get the kill, and now it's on to Timp. Finds one onto Insight, brings it to a 2 versus 2. A very confusing moment there for Paris, but they do reply. Cammy falls, and now it's all on to CleanX. Glide bomb earned, and can he do it again? Pistol out, and Jimbo, well, I didn't get the kill to start. He gets the most important one toward the stretch. Takes down CleanX. Despite the glide bomb being earned, Paris get another one on the board and tie us up at 2.
Paris Legion, once again, even though they got first blooded, they evenly, with that nade, even up the numbers and force it to a 3v3. And then once they find that pick in towards P5, in the 3v2, you do not slow down. They find the trade onto Insight, but then Jimbo at least repositioned himself in towards top fire to time that flank beautifully to turn it into a 1v1. Then clutches up for the team. But if you're CleanX, you close out on that 7th spree, you pick up that glide bomb. It could be so useful to the later half of this game.
Paris will look at another attack. One thing to keep in mind as well, really interesting stat. Paris did not plant the bomb 1 time in the Major 3 qualifier. So if you are Toronto, that is something really to think about in regards to that B objective. Are they really going to try to go for the plant? Are they going to make it the play for that? But in the meantime, strategies are going to come down to this glide bomb. It's Cammy with 2 and CleanX with the other. Picture perfect work out of the streak, and now it is Tom Gravity, white flag out in the back of the base.
Yeah, 1v4 for Tom Gravity. See Ultra, they're not going to try to give him easy one-on-one gunfights. He's basically trapped in the back of their spawn. That was such a beautiful play from Ultra. You're the Paris Legion. Definitely a little difficult because no one straps on cold-blooded. It plays right into the Ultra's playbook as they stack towards that P5, call the glide bomb in. Cammy is full-on ready, finds that two-piece, and then eventually they find the third onto Temp with the glide. It's an easy defensive round for Ultra.
You can just see, man. You can see what that quick ace does. A little moment in the game, Jay. What that does for Toronto's confidence. And obviously earning that streak, of course, is going to help you out a decent amount. But Toronto fire back with a few rounds of their own. Now up in this search and destroy. We'll see if they can capitalize on it. And ultimately grab the fourth. Nearly the first blood for Cammy. Gravity does manage to get out of dodge toward the backside of the church. So that fight will remain. But keep in mind, while there's a lot of noise being made over at that A side, it could be the middle map rotation. That Ultra has got cooked up. John on one side and Cammy on the other.
Potentially also a sniper battle between Temp and Insight towards that field side, but John's gonna get the call out. One player's gonna be sitting in this corner. He finds the first blood. Now Ultra in a 3v4. Have to focus on the positioning of John as he does push up through the middle alley. His teammates trying to at least put themselves in better position to at least trade the kill. But Bance and CleanX combined for 2. Now in a 3v2, left up to Gravity and Jimbo.
Oh, Gravity does not spot the player going bottom. We'll look to cut him off, and in reality, it's Toronto who just goes back toward that A site, realizes things are clear. The one player who's going to be here instantly is Jimbo. How fast can he arrive? At least spots one. Getting some information for he and Gravity. And what is going to be a very, very tall task. Job done for the first. Bance quickly drops. And Jimbo does as well. All on to Tom Gravity. A 1 versus 2. Catches 1. And now it's mano y mano. CleanX versus Gravity. Not a ton of time to work with.
And CleanX has already flanked the entirety of this map. As with 15 seconds left, Gravity's not going to turn right, and CleanX with the reposition is taking over in this game number 2. Has more kills than his entire team combined at 11-2. Goes massive right there for Ultra to go up 4-2.
11-2?
11-2, man. He's taking over this game.
Okay. All right. Mr. CleanX, the tissue is an issue right now on Tuscan. Nothing to sneeze at if you're Paris, but my goodness, they definitely need some life. They need somebody to go off, something to go their way. Back on the attack, the sniper, I think, was out for a moment. Temp looking for the angle as Gravity drops. Another first blood for the Ultra side. Oh, and Temp just misses the shot again. Would have been great to find the equalizer in that moment.
Look at CleanX. Look how aggressive he is through that field side. Already going to be the player to give the information to his team that no one is going to be attacking towards A. That's why you have 2 players from Ultra stacking towards that B bomb. But now CleanX not going to slow down on another 3 spree. Has read this play beautifully. He's going to be able to come behind 2, take the first couple of shots onto Temp, finds that first kill. Goes for the challenge onto Jimbo, finds the second. CleanX taking over this game. Now it's all left up to John, and that's just another round dominated by CleanX over there towards that P5. Toronto Ultra at game point.
At game point, and like you said, he's not just finding kills, but he's also getting information for the team. CleanX now at 13-2. A dominant performance from that man. We know him to be an impactful player. We know the difference maker that he can be, even going back to the very first event of the season. He was the guy that gave Toronto that early chip. When it came down to the kickoff, can he do it again on the 5 spree as he rifles through P5. Jimbo with the first blood. The blinds are open, and CleanX can see quite nicely. An instant 3 versus 2. Toronto with numbers in Paris. Left up to Temp and Jimbo now.
And he might earn 2 glide bombs in 1 search and destroy if he can pick up this 7 kill.
Oh!
Unfortunately, he can't. But Cammy is there for the trade. Now in the 1v2. Bomb is going to be planted for the Ultra boys at this B bomb. All on Jimbo. Just going to try to take his time, thinking the bomb is going to go down at A, but now it's to waste an extra 10 seconds. Rotating over towards that B site. As Ultra are going to be fully set up, they have mid-map control, they have the back cut off. Just cannot allow a ninja defuse to happen. Jimbo's going to attack the back.
He's gonna attack the back, and Toronto will be there to cut him down. A much-needed return after the Bocage loss. And Toronto comes screaming back off of what was a legendary game out of CleanX. 14-3 to bring Toronto back in this series. Jay, we said that they needed an answer. They needed to come back with a search and destroy victory, and they do that and then some.
Their search and destroy so far this weekend has been clean. Yesterday in that series versus Atlanta FaZe in a 6-1 on that Desert Siege, they come out here and only lose 2 rounds to Paris Legion on their best search and destroy. Paris Legion simply did not have an answer for CleanX. He took over this game. When you're early into these S&D rounds, especially tied at 1 apiece, and you go and get a 4-piece in literally less than 5 seconds.
We gotta look back at that. We gotta look back at that. There's no way.
The momentum is gonna be completely on your side. Ultra, just with the better game plan on that map number 2, tie the series up at 1 apiece.
And like, what does a moment like that do for the team? Like, I know obviously it's gotta get everybody extra hype, but like, does that just infuse you with more confidence? I mean, what does it do when a player makes a play like that? Does it just, I don't know, like, does it bring everybody up instantly?
100%. It's like when I used to team with Nameless, he used to go off in a majority of the maps that we played off. Shout out to my guy Nameless. And every time it's always high praise. When you have a player on your team that's going above and beyond in a certain game mode or even in a certain map, that is where it just fuels your teammates because, all right, that guy's doing everything that he possibly can. If I just step it up a little bit, we're going to be able to walk away with this series with ease. And right there with CleanX making a statement like that, Toronto Ultra got to be feeling good.
They have to. CleanX infusing this team right now with confidence as now we've got ourselves a 1-to-1 game, an elimination match. Loser going out top 12. You're going to want to stay with us because when we come back after the break, it is time for some Tusky Control.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can. Upgrade your game with a Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to day 2 of the Toronto Major. And take a look at the sea of purple that we've got right now in the venue. A truly incredible crowd hype that their boys in Toronto just walked away with that Search and Destroy. And they're especially hyped after our Scump play of the game coming through from CleanX. Jay, this was unreal.
Yeah, you've seen Insight lining up that nade. So both of those players that are sitting behind
3
that
seconds.
glitch,
Oh my God.
they were both one shot. He shoots 2 bullets to find a 2-piece, another 2 bullets to find the 3rd, and then 1 bullet to close out the final kill onto 10. And you can just hear the hype from CleanX. When you have yourself a round like that, there's nothing but momentum on your side. Now the series is tied at 1 apiece. We're going into a Tuscan control where we watched Toronto Ultra play this map versus Atlanta FaZe, and they were up 2-0. If you ask me, I think it was a choke. You have a glide bomb when you're up 2-0. On the defensive side, you just basically allow Atlanta FaZe to go onto that B point uncontested. And then we saw what happened after that. They just ended up losing that map, couldn't bounce back on that map number 4. But for both of these squads, this is not going to be an easy one.
No, it's definitely not. And that's the thing, too, that we've talked about with Toronto. The Search and Destroy has been great. The hard point, that's what really has been the major topic of conversation. The improvements in that mode. The overwhelming issue, though, still remains in the controls. I forget the exact record throughout Major 3 qualifiers, but ever since Berlin has been introduced, they've not won anything but Berlin. Gvutsu or Tuscan, they've not been winning it. And this has been their only game mode, rather their only map that they've been able to take. The problem being is that we've got a Tuscan. And I don't know, man, it's a hard one to call because like you said, you don't really know what you're gonna get out of the Paris Legion side. At the same time for Toronto, I think you're happy that they were up 2-0 versus Atlanta, but a W, it's gotta be a W. I mean, you can't take away anything from that one except for the fact that they had it and they lost it. We'll see if they can right the wrongs here versus Paris Legion, a big game, and the swing game mode now set up. As we said, elimination games throughout the day. And who will grab it this time around when it comes to control? Toronto v Paris Legion start things off on attack.
And the biggest thing that stands out for me with both of these squads on this map is that Toronto are a lot better on the defensive side than they are on the offense. 73% win rate for them compared to Paris Legion at 53%. But look at the aggression from Paris Legion. All 4 dead. You have Jimbo slipping his way onto this B point. If he can complete this search segment, that is job well done. As he's going to be able to find another 2-piece as well. All of Toronto Ultra putting their focus onto Jimbo. They take him down, but now it's Gravity's turn. Before he does get cut down, that A point is going to be captured. Toronto Ultra already have 1 at B. Job gets a little bit easier.
Yeah, man, that totally caught Toronto off guard. I mean, we have Codcaster, for God's sake, and it caught me off guard. Didn't even realize Jimbo was just doing some damage, doing some work over at that B zone. I remember, Jay, we had like a cast not long ago where Paris was playing Gvutsu. They came out and Jimbo started off like 7-0. Paris would go on to win that Gvutsu dominantly, so if that is anything, any indicator, Legion have got some momentum, maybe some hype, some drive coming into this control. But since then, they have somewhat been halted. That A zone did get captured in the meantime, so 1:45 on the clock. A few players at the back of the base right now for Legion. Looking to peel back the layers, if you will, as one has managed to sneak his way on through. Nice shots for Insight in the meantime. And Simp, who was pushed up at that B zone as well, gets wiped away.
Insight, unfortunately, does get taken down from this P5 area. You have 2 players here. Actually, all of Paris Legion ready to attack this from the front. John opens up that first. Gravity with the second, but as long as Toronto Ultra are continuously trading these kills, they're putting themselves in the best position to close it out on this defense. Insight, CleanX combined for another 2, and that's going to be all 4 dead. Now Paris Legion off spawn.
Back to the drawing board, if you will, for Paris. See what they look to do, what they elect to try and accomplish. Is it going to be that P5 push time and time again, or will they elect to make something happen over at the field? A nice little nade from John. Will help open things up. This is a crucial gunfight. John versus Bance. Benjamin holding true, that 40. He's able to hold it down. Meanwhile, it's Gravity trying to put some pressure over in that back tank in AR's paradise, especially for the attacking team. If you can get there, problem being is that they've constantly got that door shut right in their face. Back to the spawn they go once more, Legion.
This is going to be the last push for Paris Legion because look how much map control Toronto Ultra were able to get after getting all 4 of those kills. A lot of pressure in towards P5. They have everything cut off through the middle of the map. Now with CleanX picking up that kill, he's going to also pitch P5 through the bottom, or at least play for these players dropping down towards bottom fountain. But with 15 seconds left, Toronto Ultra have put himself in a great spot to clutch up on this defensive round. Just has to lead, find a trade. Here comes CleanX on the flank, on a 3 spree, potentially going for the 4th. So he finds it with the pistol, not gonna go for the challenge. Actually, he does. You can just tell the man is feeling himself. Toronto Ultra clutch up on the defense, but if you're Paris Legion, at least you got that 1 tick of progression at B.
Yeah, it's definitely not the worst thing in the world, right? When you don't walk away with the round, you at least get that 1 tick, and clutch plays coming in from Jimbo, the rookie, putting up an excellent display. Started things off 5-0 in the opening round of Tuscan Control. As we said, these teams have matched up. This is their 3rd encounter here in Vanguard. And both times it has been Toronto not just winning Control, but 3-0ing the side of Paris. So let's get their first round in this game and really in this title versus this very team in Toronto. But a great start here in the opening attack from the Ultra Boys. The boys in purple continue to put some pressure. The crowd behind them, thunderous applause throughout the arena as CleanX, it feels like he just has that glide bomb in store for us. Hunting, searching, looking for where that next player can be, whom he can try and devour. Player lined up, it's gonna be Jimbo, slides right into his frame, but he wins it anyway. CleanX nearly for the 8th. Eventually drop at that A zone is all but theirs.
And CleanX does pick up that glide bomb, so that can be massive for Toronto Ultra. As we go deeper into this game, 8 points still not going to be completed.
Oh my
Till
goodness.
now, but Insight with some great shots. John takes him down from top church. Now he's trying to set up this pinch from top plat. Takes down Gravity as well. They're trying to at least chain these couple of kills together so they can potentially use this glide bomb to close out this offensive round. But with Paris Legion taking full control of top church, it's going to slow down that pressure.
Insight is in such a very valuable spot. He gets wiped away and you just see instantly what it does. However, CleanX, still some presence. I don't know what it is. That 40 is firing a little bit differently today in this series versus Paris. As we said, struggled versus the Atlanta FaZe. The SMGs overall for Toronto were by no means spectacular, but CleanX trying to keep up that same pace that he had in the search destroyed. Now into the control. Good work for Jimbo, however, cutting down one of the lanes that Toronto are constantly going to be siphoned in toward. And the rookie now sits on 3. We'll see if he can add on to this spree.
He's going to find that kill onto Inside as well. Great shots from Jimbo, but the pressure is going to be here for Toronto Ultra. Temp and Gravity combined for 2. Now it's only Bance left on this side of the map for the Ultra Boys. If your job is to simply stay alive, he gets taken down. And Jimbo also on a 5 spree. Does get shut down by Cammy, so with a minute left, Ultra up by 1 life, make it 2. That's gonna be 3 down in the feed. Temp has to try to go massive from this top church.
He at least cuts down CleanX, so that is a sweat off the brow type of situation if you're Paris, but the pressure still here. Jimbo cannot afford to give away his life, especially when all the players are lined up inside a radio. Giving those call-outs right now to the team, Jimbo time and time again finds himself in such valuable positions, but it's Insight there to drop him. Cammy with the great cover fire. Knows that somebody has just ran towards the plat. Cammy, guns forward, also will fall. And they run right into the jaws of that Paris Legion defense. One last good look at this if you are Ultra.
Such big gunfight wins coming in from Paris Legion. 3 down in the feed. Now with 20 seconds left, if you're Ultra, you just have to full-on sprint straight to that point. Bance does find that opening kill onto Jimbo towards that roof side. Just don't know if they're gonna re-temp in this corner. Temp finds the first. Gravity with a little bit of assistance to find the second. And with that 3 kills, Toronto Ultra are gonna fall short on this attacking round. And Paris Legion do a great job of just holding the line on the defensive side. Still keeps them in the lead by 1 tick.
Still keeps him in the lead, and as we said, man, just some great plays throughout that round from Jimbo. I mean, as we said, he starts off great, getting that first tick on B in the opening attack for Legion, and I just feel like in so many situations, he and Temp were just winning the gunfights. The ones where Toronto just couldn't afford to lose in, right? When you're on the attack, you're looking for to stream a few kills together. And they get halted each and every single time. Back-to-back defense, a little different from our Berlin control that we had yesterday, buddy. What, 5 attacks, attacking victories? A little bit different to kick off this Tusky, but here we go. Second opportunity now for Paris. A few early kills go the way of Ultra, but standard stuff ultimately from this Legion attack. It's all about A.
Gonna be able to complete this first segment. Ultra right now keeping min-map control. Trying to potentially line this pinch up, but Temp cuts down 2. One player in CleanX, just gonna try to stay alive towards that field side. Now you have to retreat, give up this 8.4 free. Paris Legion are gonna be able to extend this time by a minute. Now 2 minutes and 20 seconds to work with. If you're a Paris Legion, the best thing that you can do on this map when you're trying to attack towards B is just complete those segments. Try to secure your defense just in case it does go to that round number 5. Toronto Ultra, full control of P5, full control of top fire. They're going to force all of Paris Legion to overextend the field.
And they're going to know this as well. Toronto going to be completely aware that that field side is the angle of opportunity for Paris, but despite that information, you like to feel like they would have. Caught off guard as CleanX, caught off guard as Cammy, but thankfully, Insight and Bance, the other 2 members of this team, are able to pick things up in the meantime. Gravity trying to be careful. Does sit on that 5 spree. Now make it 6. Oh, nearly makes it 7-1 away from the glide. Well, he does fall short of it. John is able to pick up from where his teammate leaves off. And great work again from Insight and Cammy, the ARs. Going big once more on the defensive side. Temp looks to handle business. Get something brewing. As we said, I mean, really, when it comes down to attack on really Gavutsu or Tuscan, it's about capturing that first zone. Give your teammates as much time as possible in what is a very tedious B zone to try and capture. So far, Toronto have held strong, but this could be an opportunity right now for Paris. John, slide, dive, doing everything he can to stay up. He falls as well. And again, Paris at that 50-yard line.
Toronto do a great job once again of just finding every single kill towards that P5 area. Now with the minute left, Paris Legion need to just figure out which way they want to attack this, because Ultra, they're doing a great job of just being such nuisances on this side of the map. Insight is consistently pushing out towards that roof side, which is influencing the spawns for Paris Legion to overextend every single life. Now with 40 seconds left, 1 to 2 more good pushes for Paris Legion. Temp does find that first kill. But you have 2 players from Paris attacking towards the back. If they can take down Bance, this is going to be their opening, but none other than CleanX to shut down that pressure. They find that 2-piece. Now they know that the players are coming from the back.
And the players are coming from the back. Jimbo, nice one on the CleanX, but he eventually gets wiped away. Last player that's going to be in the enemy spawn is Gravity. Trying to give as much communication out to his teammates as possible. Given the call-outs, knowing the sense of urgency that lies still at that B zone. No real damage gonna be done. And this is gonna be Toronto's round, 3 for 3 in defenses. And Ultra grab the lead here on Tuscan.
Ultra just did a great job of just filling in those gaps. Like I said, especially in control, if you go 4 dead, you're majority of the time going to lose one of those attacking rounds, but they were just consistently keeping the kills stagnant. Trade after trade around that P5 area. Insight and CleanX causing them so many problems. When they thought that they find that opening 2-piece, Insight always at least answers with 1 to slow them down. As Toronto Ultra take that defensive round, and now they have that glide bomb to work with on this attacking round. They can potentially close this out here. If I'm them, I'm just being super aggressive in towards bottom middle and trying to cut it towards that B point right off the rip.
I mean, do you go into this round thinking, yeah, we're probably gonna use the glide bomb?
Yeah, okay. 100%.
We'll see when they elect to use it, and understandably so. Just go for the standard route. Know that they've got the advantage, it feels like, especially with CleanX on their side. Good kills to the middle of the map, however, for Paris. John is able to take down 2. Eventually wiped away, but it's Cammy to answer with 2 of his own. Jimbo hops on the point for a second, and it's double kill after double kill. Rookie sits on 3, eventually dropped, and now Toronto again forced their way into that A zone, Jay. Just a matter of time. Paris, a lot of things to think about. When's that glide bomb going to come through? How much do we want to try and push over at this A zone? And right when they think that Toronto goes for the capture, they've got that minute, and unfortunately for Gravity, he's allowed for 1 to sneak on through.
Now Toronto Ultra down still by 1 tick. You have that glide bomb to work with. CleanX is going to cut back, take down Gravity on the overextension towards field. A lot of pressure in towards B5. Insight able to come out on top in that engagement. But a 2-piece from Paris Legion now is going to slow down the players who are farthest pushed up on the map. Toronto Ultra potentially invest their glide bomb arm here if they can find a second kill. With Bance finding that 2-piece, I think this is the time to call it.
We'll see if they do. Toronto, they stacked a point. They're inside. Paris, they've got to be careful. This could be the game. This could be the game. They try to push in, but Inside has got some great cover fire. Oh, Inside's able to take it, but ultimately, everybody drops except for one, that being Tom Gravity. Seen everybody lying on the floor and recognizing he just made the play. The trades are in for Paris, but boy, was it dicey. A minute and 20 on the clock. Toronto right back where they left off.
And right now, the segments are tied. If you're Ultra, you just have to make sure that you outslay them on this round. 15 to 15 in lives remaining. You still have Ultra trying to attack this from P5. Gravity, the cutoff man, finds that first kill. The minute to work with. You see Cammy just taking his time in towards top radio, trying to allow his teammates to get into the play, but with him dropping there, you see Paris Legion gonna focus all towards this top plat. CleanX does find that first kill. Insight with the second, but with CleanX and Insight finding that too, Paris Legion answer with 2 of their own, and they shut down their push once again.
And if we are talking about that round 5, right, if it is going to be tied, I mean, you just look at the overall difference, and right now it's Cammy. Cammy's being the difference maker for Toronto, and they will decide to go and call on the streak, so here it is. A high-risk play, but they do find 3 instantly. The explosion here on Tuscan.
Stack has to be here.
The stack is in Paris. They know
Gotta go.
that it's going to go the other direction. Oh, maybe not. One player was still alive, and Toronto somehow bruised and battered win that round. Who was left?
I don't even know.
Who was left?
I saw a 2-piece come in from Gravity. I saw 1 kill by Temp. And the last player just lays down towards that back alley, stays alive just enough to secure that point for Ultra. I didn't think that they were going to invest that glide bomb, especially when it was going later into this round, but with Bance, he has to be the guy that leads in the comms right there saying, I have an opening kill.
Yeah.
This is probably our time to execute this glide bomb. They find that kill, Insight finds the second, and then with CleanX with the third, everyone just flies out. They play the stack, and let's just go back and look at it. We got to see the final seconds.
We got to see what happens. I mean, like we said, Toronto, they find that opening, like, okay, so it's a little scary. As you said, Bance gives the call out. He and Cammy combine for 3, and then we're thinking, okay, the round is over, but Paris strike through. Who was left?
Paris and every single player towards the back end. They were just trying to at least time their nades.
It was Bance.
It was Bance.
Bance was alive.
Just laying down, doing the dirty work for the team. Toronto Ultra able to clutch up in the control. And like you said, ever since they added Berlin, they could not win a Gabutu. They could not win a Tuscan control ever since Pro-Am. And today, they completely changed that narrative, come out and get a dominant win. Now puts them up 2-1.
Hey man, as we said, when it comes down to the major, now is the time to win some maps that you've been struggling with, right? If the records aren't looking pretty, come major time, this is the time to turn things around. But a great little moment there for Toronto. As we said, Bance, a great player. Doesn't always have to do it with the gun, and doesn't do it there, but my goodness, a 3-1 victory, a turnaround here on Tuscan so far for Toronto. It has been back-to-back. And can they make it 3 in a row, buddy? They got Tuscan HP lined up for game 4.
That's the thing for me. It's got to be the hard points, because throughout all of stage 3, they go 7-2, tied with NYSL for the best record in hard points throughout the stage. But then so far, at the major, they're 0-3. They lose the both of them yesterday to Atlanta FaZe. They lose the map number 1 to Paris Legion. And then even worse, the last time that these two teams matched up, when Paris Legion were able to walk away with it, it was game number 1, Bocage Hardpoint, game number 4, Tuscan Hardpoint.
Okay.
So that's kind of scary for them.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, obviously this has been the blueprint previously for this Paris Legion lineup. Obviously it's been some time since that series took place, but you know in the back of your minds, you have that confidence without question if you are Legion, but as we said, it is kind of a scary situation still if you are Toronto. You want to get through this first match, you want to get something on the board, and really you want to keep this crowd lively, man. Obviously This is your home event, you got all kinds of things invested, you want to walk away with this, and don't allow for them to sweat anything unnecessarily. But when it comes down to this Tuscan HP, I want to ask you, players to look out for, we'll start with Paris first. Is it one of the rookies? Is it one of the veterans who you looking out for?
I'm looking at John. John is the guy for me that if he turns up to a whole different level along the side of Temp, who's been having one of the most consistent years out of any single player, but not results to show for it. If he can really step up for this Paris Legion, he's going to be the player that I'm watching on that side. And then the opposite, it's none other than CleanX. The guy's been a man on the mission so far ever since that map number 2, goes massive in that map number 3. And now with the pressure from John, with the pressure from CleanX, the biggest thing that I took away from yesterday watching Toronto Ultra versus Atlanta just came down to a couple key gunfights off the rotation. Atlanta was just doing a great job of just getting two-piece after two-piece. No one could really buy a trade, and based off of that map number 1, neither could Toronto, but now they have answered in this series up 2-1. Guns are a little bit more hot.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Not a game mode, you know, historically when we talk about Toronto throughout this season, that they've been able to rely upon in hardpoint, but as of lately, the reason why they find themselves with a great record at the Major 3 qualifiers with really the same 4-man lineup has been because of that HP improvement, as now they turn their attention toward Tuscan, and it could now be the time that they advance past the Paris Legion, or, like we said, when these teams matched up, Paris were able to take them down to the Major 2 qualifiers. It was because of this very HP that sent them the distance. Here we go. Tuscan hardpoint lined up and ready. Jay, who do you think takes this?
I think Toronto Ultra take this, man.
Okay.
I think they've fixed their mistakes from yesterday, and the biggest mistake from yesterday has to be their P5, where they're usually getting dominated. They allow the opposite team to get 30 points. They only average about 15. So they need to show adjustments there, but you can take a look at our stats so far in this series. CleanX at a 0.8 versus Atlanta FaZe yesterday, and it's completely turned it around. 1.14 so far. Here we go. Toronto Ultra. Starting on the better side, should start off with this initial time at P1. And for Paris Legion, P1 is their only positive hill on this entire map. So this is going to be a struggle for Paris.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We'll see if they look to try to make some adjustments, as it's an all-out brawl, a quick frenzy over at P1. Everybody aware of the very valuable seconds that P1 can hold for you, but it's 15 uncontested right now for Toronto, as Winsight still remains hanging out, maybe bruised and battered to the nade. Brings him low in terms of HP as CleanX looks to try and fly some more. You can just feel it. This Ultra end is trying to apply some aggression. While CleanX falls, it's the trades that still favor the boys in purple, and they have got every single second so far.
And Paris Legion cannot afford to lose these spawns, because on this map specifically, they are dead last in break percentage for every single one of these hills. So if you're the Ultra, you just have to make sure you're rotating early. And if you're Paris Legion, you gotta make sure that you're there, because you don't have success breaking in. It's gonna be early on towards this P2. A lot of pressure from Ultra coming in from this P5 top flat area. 3 players exactly. They're all gonna try to flood out inside. Finds that first. CleanX with some great shots. Not able to take down Jimbo, but this might be the opening for Bance.
Could be the opening for Benjamin Bance. The exact same position where he just clutched up for him in control. He's trying to go on a nice little spree toward the outskirts. Well, at least he frees up some time, and if you're Toronto, hey, make him work for it. At least allow for that time to go unnoticed. Be somewhat vacated. Insight still alive and thriving right now toward the plat. Makes it now 4 in a row, 5 in a row for Insight. Somewhat of a slow series. It's all been CleanX, but now it could be his turn. Denies the seconds, and now Toronto back up and can be quite happy with the way they played that last HP. Bance more and more on the flank. Paris trying to handle what is a very pesky player.
John's gonna be the only player here from Paris Legion off the rotation. He does win that huge gunfight versus CleanX, but the spawns for Ultra are still gonna come in from that top roof. Bance is gonna be the player to at least set up the flank. He finds that first kill, finds a second as well. But with him finding that 2-piece, Paris Legion do a great job, at least from field. They find the last 2 kills, and they are able to flip these spawns. This is the way Paris Legion get in the game.
It's the way they can do it. Here comes Jimbo rounding the corner. Still Toronto with those spawns. You see players coming in from field, coming in from roofs, coming in from middle. A lot of spawns to think about, but Cammy holds true. Hill gonna be open for the time tip. Coming around the corner, he drops as well. Nade shots coming in from pretty much everybody. A neck and neck game, and still 15 valuable seconds remain over at Fire, as the rotation is still going to be on. Toronto get awarded with the scrap. Gravity wins 1 through middle, and because of that gunfight victory, Paris have got the advantage, but they've got 2 SMGs who are looking to say otherwise.
Yeah, if you are Tep, you have to at least find one of these kills. Or at least the trade is gonna be there from Jimbo. Cammy does come out on top, but the spawn's still gonna be there for Paris Legion. I don't know if Cammy's gonna be able to read this. A lot of pressure from Ultra coming in from side door field. With Cammy in this great position, he's at least stalling the time for his teammates to try to get back into this play. Sliding back and forth, unfortunately loses that gunfight to Jimbo. Now all of Ultra spawning out towards the front.
We know on Tuscan, right, there are a lot of hills where you can soak up some decent seconds. This one indeed is one of those hard points. Paris They could be looking at another break. Simp has actually brought out that M19, gets a kill with it on the inside. So that is something to think about as we approach P5. And right now, Paris finally able to break back into the hard point. It looked like a great break for Toronto, but ultimately it will be the HP that brings him back in the game. So all level, all square, as now we head to a very, very chaotic P5 now, Jay.
Huge one-on-one gunfight between Cammy and Jimbo. Jimbo's able to walk away with it. So Paris Legion are going to start off with this initial time. They win the battles off the rotation. Now you're forcing Ultra on their worst hill on this map to break on in. Bance and Cammy combined for 2, but still a bunch of Paris Legion players here for the trade.
It's a headbutt when we talk about Command Center. Back and forth we go. Pretty much a tie game as both teams really volley for position. Shots exchanged either which way. Nades tossed in as well. It's a microwave of shots. Everybody's just a matter of time before they blow. Bance tries to make his way on through. Great work ultimately coming in from Toronto with the kills. Do value them. Cammy has no idea where he's being shot from. Where is Paris? Where is John? Takes away 2. And again, on Tuscan, it's about that second rotation to P1. Toronto valuing it. Paris do get those final few seconds, but let's go ahead and step aside. Second side of rotations, Toronto trying to close it out here. Let's go to a listening with Ultra.
Sorry, it's Jimbo.
It was one church. Nice. What's me, Jimbo? Jimbo, what are you doing? Outside you?
One shot.
Our laying down.
Okay.
Outside,
Oh, yeah, Jimbo on the heady. He's on the heady.
Nice shit.
Already in. Tree, under tree.
Nice shit, 3.
I
can hold mid.
Touch time. One of the trees. I'm got the chop.
On the left.
I'm named their side. Name their side.
On the left side.
10's on mid, boys.
Lucky bit. I'll try that side.
We're named
Go the tree now.
Named over.
Mid east. Hold him in. Outside.
Mid, Jimbo's mid. He's in church, Jimbo.
You're making church.
One shot.
Yeah, I can get mid 5 here. Come on.
Go through, Toby.
Yeah.
P5 dead.
That's
Nice.
good.
I'm in church.
It's gonna be church.
I'll be top.
Didn't say anything flowers.
See anything top?
I'm in deep tank.
It's gonna be play green.
Listen, just go top.
One push.
Great little check in there with Toronto Ultra. You can see the boys getting hype and off of some great plays recently from CleanX. He has been the catalyst for why the Ultra have turned up in that search destroy and in this control, rather in the control and now in the hard point. It has been triple Tuscans for CleanX, having his stamp of approval right now in the game. Paris on the rotation. Have had spawns for Column, but they've really yet to get a ton of seconds at this one.
They haven't been able to get any time off of this Ultra, just putting a lot of pressure on through bottom church, through top plat. Not allowing Paris Legion to get any time. Now currently down by 37 points. Cammy doing everything he can. Great snap onto the first player, but that's going to be Paris Legion. Final 20 should go in their favor, but CleanX is still here. CleanX is still causing them problems. The remaining 15 is going to go towards the Ultra. Now off the rotation, you're going to see 2 players from Paris Legion hitting right through that roof side. They're going to be able to flip the spawns. John wins a huge one-on-one gunfight. Now Ultra have to try to break. You have 1 player pitching from field, 1 player pitching from that P5 area. Biggest kill is going to come in towards this top roof. If Gravity can just get taken down, this is the way Ultra are going to be able to execute this break. Now you have a pinch coming in from top fire, a pinch coming in from that top roof area. Paris Legion do not come out on top of these engagements. This is all Ultra.
And John, the man who made the rotation, has no teammates to rely upon. They keep dropping like flies. The veteran trying to hold it down in the back, but it's Insight there to cut him down. Ultra, as we said, have been able to take their time on getting on this objective. Jimbo, as aggressive as ever, tries to run right into the fountain, and CleanX sniffs out Temp 2. Great little situation for Ultra, not getting the rotation, but breaking in at our last 2 HPs. Trying to put the chokehold on right now for Paris. And once more, it's going to be the battle for the rotations. Insight now sits on 4 in a row. Will accrue those final few moments of seconds, but it's now the rotation toward Church. And last time around, it was the same story. Bance and CleanX trying to be the thorns in their side. While CleanX falls, Bance still lingers.
Bance is the player to at least try to set up this pinch, hoping that his teammates can win a couple gunfights from the front, and CleanX finds 3 kills in towards bottom church. Last player is going to be Temp, and CleanX with another 4-piece to break on into this P4 hardpoint. All of Paris Legion spawning in the back of P2, but Bance is in the cutoff. Bance is in the cutoff. He finds another two-piece. CleanX and Bance so far answering in this map number 4.
Toronto are starting to feel themselves rallying around this incredible crowd, knocking on the door of 200 seconds, and now it could be Cammy's turn. It could be Cammy's turn. A little 3-streak there for him. Toronto have also got that next rotation prepared, but Cammy cannot be stopped. Eventually will fall, but it just feels like Toronto, whether they've had the rotation or not, they are just not losing gunfights. They're going on sprees, they're breaking through hills, and at P5, they've got themselves set up quite nicely now, Jay.
And they're winning every single gunfight. You have Cammy who's cutting off middle of the map, assisted by Bance. Not a single player from Paris Legion is going to be close towards this point. 30 seconds away from closing out this series. Ultra just have to hold, but that's going to be 4 dead now for Paris Legion. They get the break. Now with 30 seconds, you have to play perfect hardpoint from here on out. You have to win a majority of these gunfights and win your rotation gunfights. With 25 seconds left, that's going to put them down by 60 points. All on Ultra. They're still going to send a lot of bodies here. Only 2 players left here from Paris Legion. They're trying to at least get this remaining 15 seconds, but no. John and Temp combined for all 3. Last 10 going to Paris.
Take a look, it's currently going to be a 2 versus 2 inside of that next point. Jimbo going to be found out. Bance drops him, and from there, Toronto sink their teeth. Now in toward the field, they cannot lose these engagements. If you are Paris, Toronto now just 20 seconds away from a W, from eliminating Paris from the major. CleanX with another 15 more seconds now. Toronto trying to lock it down, trades, exchanges. Paris starting to feel it, starting to recognize that this game, this series could be done. It could be over. The nade is out, Insight still hiding out. The AR is prepared, the final few seconds, and that will be it. Toronto gets their W. This crowd was behind them the entire way, and they deliver a much-needed victory for them. My goodness, what a game and what a series for Toronto toward the stretch. Some incredible streaks across the board.
Toronto just made it happen on this hard point. In control from start to finish. They said, Paris Legion, your only positive hard point on this map is going to be that P1. We're going to make sure every single time we're early off the rotation, winning our gunfight so we can properly set up. Ultra just in control, like I said. When it came down to the rotation, they were winning a majority of their gunfights. And the biggest thing for me was that Ultra found success breaking into that P5. Every single time, whether it was the remaining 15, 20 seconds on every single one of these hard points, you always found Bance or CleanX on a route thinking about the next hill. That is what it takes to win these hard points at this level. And right there, Toronto Ultra are going to continue to move on at their own major. Unfortunately for Paris Legion, I thought if you're all the way at the bottom, the only way to go is up, but a little bit more bottom they go.
Yeah, and we'll see obviously what that does. You know, man, Mack, when it comes down to champs, you want to be in those top 8 seeds. And I mean, again, going out top 12, it's not going to be the easy situation now for Legion to look upon. But like we said, man, just a much needed W for this Toronto team. As we said, the hard points have not been great. They're finally able to answer here on the Tuscan. It's a healthy W with that. I mean, it's everybody going off across the board. You saw CleanX have an excellent performance throughout this series. He really invigorated this team throughout the Tuscan trilogy that we had in the center of the games. Great performance from him. And my goodness, Toronto just say, sorry, not sorry. Sorry, Paris, you had to be eliminated, but hey, it's our major after all.
The SMGs really stepped up. Like, Bance always found himself in a position finding the kill towards the back, but just his positioning on the map is so impactful for this Toronto Ultra roster. Because when you're having CleanX play at such a fast pace, his job is to just literally go forward, find 2 pieces, and probably sit a corner once in a blue moon. But for Bance, the guy that's always making the smart play, the guy that's leading in the comms for this team, he's winning those rotation gunfights. We saw him do it in the back tank for that P4 where he goes massive on that 2-piece. Little plays like that are what going to secure you maps And right there, Ultra, they get it done.
They do. They get that W. They get the W in front of their crowd as well. You got to imagine that's got to feel good for them. Well, that's going to do it for us. Now it's time to send it over to the stage. Bryce, who's joined by CleanX.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, I am on the stage in front of a very enthusiastic home crowd. Joining me here, CleanX, first of all, congratulations. A little bit of pressure coming into this game, obviously, in front of the home crowd. Feel good to get that win under your belt.
Yeah, I mean, that win kind of sums it up for us. I mean, we had to get one under our belt here. I mean, the crowd deserves it. You guys are fucking amazing, so keep it up on.
I couldn't agree more with that one. Okay, from a positive point to a slightly negative point, I have to ask you about map number 1. What happened? You guys coming in a little bit cold.
I mean, even the comms were just coming out flat. I mean, we weren't really just playing ourselves, and we were just putting ourselves in a shit spot, so pretty simple, yeah.
That's fair.
Simple one.
And that's another interesting question about this. Now, obviously, I got to see your walkout yesterday. I got to see the walkout today. Today, you guys seemed maybe more dialed in or just a little bit more kind of locked in. There was a lot of smiles yesterday, a lot of hype, more kind of a business day for you today. Is that something you talked about before or just a vibe from the team?
I mean, losers bracket is not a joke. You know, you have to come out with the fire, you have to smoke everyone you play, and you don't have a second chance. So, you know, dialed in, locked in, ready to business.
100%, and you did very well. I suppose I've got to ask, you're playing at your major, you're in front of the home crowd, they're very, very loud and enthusiastic about you. How does that feel?
I mean, I've been here for 3 years. I've been waiting for this for 3 years, so you guys are fucking amazing, so appreciate it.
All right, well, congratulations on that win. It was very impressive. We're going to look forward to see you in the rest of this tournament. The crowd is amazing. You're amazing. This major is amazing. Over to our desk to break that one down.
Bryce, you're amazing too, my guy, but locked in, dialed in, and these guys are focused, and the dub came shortly afterwards. It feels good to say Toronto Ultra finally wins the first series at their major, here at major number 3. Nameless, it was just another day in the office against Paris, right?
It was, and they fixed a lot of things from yesterday, right? Like in the control where they made that huge mistake versus Atlanta FaZe. Today it was way better. The glide bomb comes in, it actually gets a kill. They push over, they stack the point, they win there, so that's an adjustment. And also in that hard point, that second rotation of hills was clinical. They mitigate the damage when it comes to P2. They held it from the front and contested. They rotate to P3, it's a flawless setup. They dominated the next 2 hills from there. Like that's stuff that we were seeing Toronto do in the stage 3 qualifiers when it came to hard point. Didn't translate to the Atlanta FaZe match. Now, obviously this is Paris Legion. It's the easiest match that you can have in the CDL. But for CleanX to get going like that, that's what you need in round 1 of losers bracket, right? Get those jitters out in front of the crowd, and that's what that match was for. So I think they can make a run now.
Right, Ali, you're rocking a banner right now. Can you tell us who it is and what you liked about the players on this roster?
It got a little chilly, Vel. I had to warm myself up a little bit after that hot win from the Toronto Ultra. But you know what? I think the biggest difference for me was after yesterday in that series that they lost against Atlanta FaZe, it was like when they got in moments of being able to win, when they put themselves in a favorable position, they kind of panicked, right? From a cool, calm, collected Toronto Ultra, that's not what we expected. They came into today's match, even when they were in a position to win, it was down to the fundamentals, right? They were playing their teamwork, they were playing their game, they kept the pace in their favor, and they didn't panic at any moment, and I think that's why we got such a dominant W.
Because we saw them playing a little desperate towards the end against Atlanta FaZe, right? But Merc, man, what are your ultimate thoughts about this series here? And Paris are going home.
Well, yeah, obviously for Paris, it's been rough. It's been rough all year. But for Ultra, even map 1, right? Like Paris come out swinging. They really do. And you know, CleanX sort of talked about it. Our comms were off. You're in the losers bracket. It's no joke. Paris has played better on land throughout this year. Jimbo has played better. Temp's been great. I mean, even from that map number 1, Paris came out and they were just trying to take it to them. But to bounce back in the search and destroy in the control, that is the Ultra that we know, that we saw last year when they were at their best. You can win our game 1 hardpoint, but we are going to take it to you in the next 2.
You're right. Now also, the point that you made earlier on, that's going to actually be the game field tactical play where everybody just put their bodies in that point for the win, Nameless, and they played as a team. They won.
I mean, it was wonderful. I mean, it was on the opposite end of the spectrum yesterday when FaZe was able to do it versus them, but you can see here the glide bomb comes in, they get the kill. Insight and Cammy open it up through Church, and then they just stack the point here, and the rest is history. They get the control win, and that just has to feel so much better. A team that's been struggling in control throughout stage 3, they were 1-4 coming into this event in that game mode. And they've been having some tough moments. They've had some close controls, a lot of 2-3 losses. Their defense hasn't really been there for Toronto, but today they win that off. offense there, close it out, and that's heart-wrenching on the side of the Paris Legion.
And it was the same situation against Atlanta FaZe yesterday, right? They had the glide bomb, they had the favorable situation, and this time it just happened to work out, right? The play that they had in their minds actually went their way, and I feel like that's another story when it comes to Toronto Ultra. They know what to do in these situations. It's just about having the COD timing. It's just about it all going in their way, and that's what happened in that control.
Right now, ultimately, Paris Legion, I mean, we've watched them struggle all year long, but I do have to say, Nameless Man, the first map looked good. Merc called it out as well.
Listen,
this team, Tim was on fire, but
I get it.
It's like...
Listen, they have some solid players. The pieces just aren't working. I mean, they're last in so many different categories, and if I'm being honest, if I'm the GM and coach of this team, I'm going right over to the passion
Go
pit,
to the challenger
and I'm
side.
going to go watch these guys
There
and
we
just
go.
see what's going on, because there's not much time left, right? You've been getting bottomed out in all these tournaments. Like, you have to make a change now. But, you know, valiant effort coming out here. Tough planning against, you know, the team and their home crowd. But that was a winnable game. You come out, you go up 1-0, right? Like, you had confidence. You're just not able to close it.
Right, let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket to see how things have unfolded so far. Today was the first day of elimination games, and we have one more to go. We got Røkkr and Breach, but Ultra moves on, along with OpTic and the London Royal Ravens. The top side of the bracket looks thick as well. Merc, you're not going to be on the desk for that series right there, Boston and Minnesota. I want to hear your thoughts about it. What's your prediction for this?
I mean, obviously, you know, Røkkr last night losing 2 search and destroys, uncharacteristic of them. But for the Breach, I mean, this is not an easy losers round 1. No. I mean, Breach was a top 4 team, right? And Major 2. They can play on land. We know that they can play with a very fast-paced, high-intensity team. You know, this is a Breach team that could take it to them, but they've been struggling in the Major 3 qualifiers. We'll see if they can turn it around here. But one of those teams is going to be top 12. That's pretty crazy. It's going to either be a team in Breach who's been, I don't know, a top 6 team all year long, or Røkkr who 5-0, and then they could go 0-2 out on land. So that's going to be, it should be a very close matchup.
Woo! For those of you that are Toronto Ultra fans, listen, this one is for you especially. Now you can look like the pros and play like them, and also support your favorite team. Team packs now available, and they're also on sale right now. Ali, if I'm a Toronto fan, I'm getting these immediately.
Absolutely, and
no
it's the
doubt.
most fire one on the lineup here, right?
The
Like
one,
the blue and the purple. Heat.
It is the coolest one for sure.
It's definitely out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have another series to go, Minnesota and also Boston. So we're going to send this over to a break, but once again, I'm going to give a big shout out to Toronto Ultra, the organization, for throwing this event, and also the fans, because things were getting a little bit loud at the end towards that series, and I actually love that. But coming up next is going to be a match of the ages for the first round in this losers bracket. We have Boston, we have Minnesota Røkkr. I don't know what to expect, but we'll catch you guys on the other side for some more CDL action.
Too exhausted, I needed the energy, needed to pick me up. I'm in your movie, but this is my cinema. I got that power, I'm built to devour. Anyone coming against me, I tower. I don't care when the pressure. Some of y'all leaving here in a stretcher. Took my time to go and get better. I was reading in the red letters. Ay, hit me with your best shot. I got time today. Feeling like a matador with that Red Bull. Oh, no, you can't stop me. I'm running my own play. For the game win, I can't get anything that gets in my way. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Been here, we done that. You all know what we came for. You all know what we came for. We been here, we done that. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. I'm in the game like EA. Been in my prime since pre-K. Shooting my shot from long range, going over heads like a toupee.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Mountain Dew. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Zenny. Armor your eyes with Block's gaming glasses starting at $24 by visiting zenny.com/CDL.
Welcome back, and ladies and gentlemen, this has been a Toronto Formation 3. It's been fantastic so far, right? But today has been something a little bit more special, and I don't know about you guys, but I love days like this. It's Elimination Day, and it's also Friday. We're having a good time. My name is Belly. We got Lando, we got Ali, and we also got Nameless. Yo, Lando, welcome to the desk, and I love having you on the desk. You know why?
What's that?
Yo, Lando comes so prepared.
Okay,
Look at this.
okay.
Yo, the notes are ridiculous. He nerds it up, but Lando.
I like me some COD, Belly. All right, I like me some COD. You're gonna hate on the guy for making some notes?
I love it, but you come prepared. So you just got it off of Toronto Ultra getting a big win. It feels good to see that here, right?
It does, man. It feels good. Like, it feels so wholesome. Like to see CleanX talk in front of the crowd. He's like, I've been waiting for this for years. You can just tell what it meant for Toronto. Obviously, after the loss yesterday versus Atlanta FaZe, has to sting, but they get a big W here versus Paris, and well, the grind is on now in the elimination break.
You know what else is a big W? This is Scuff's social giveaway, by the way. So for all of you that are watching at home or even in the audience, check this out. During Major 3, you've got a chance to win one of the brand new 2022 CDL Scuff controllers. It's easy.
Those are fire.
All you gotta do is follow Scuff Gaming and Colleague on Twitter, then tag a friend and reply with hashtag ScuffXCDL.
Yo, Belle, you're gonna tag me, right? Because we're friends.
I got you. No, I'm gonna be a real one. I'm gonna be a real one.
He thought about it for a second.
We'll see.
Noted.
Now, when it comes to Minnesota Røkkr, they're facing off against Boston Breach, and in my opinion, this is going to be the best series that we're going to have all day long, right? And when it comes to Minnesota Røkkr, undefeated, online, got a big loss yesterday, and now they're here.
Yeah, I mean, with Minnesota Røkkr, it was search and destroy. This is the best search team in the CDL. They lose 2 of them yesterday, and they got dominated in both of those maps.
Dominated.
So they're going to be playing Desert Siege once again in this series. And what happened yesterday was Havok was getting caught early in the round. They tried to play hyper-aggressive, and LA Thieves didn't bite the bait. They sat in their spawn. They picked up those kills. And so for Minnesota Røkkr, it's going to be about adjusting now. Like, people know how you're playing search and destroy. They're looking out for the quick push by Standy, by Havok, and they're getting those first bloods. How do you respond to that in this series? That's what we'll learn. For the keys to victory, Ali, what do they have to do?
What's insane about that is they lost 2 S&Ds to the LA Thieves, which S&D has been their biggest issue this entire year. So they definitely need to bounce back from that and prepared for Boston's creative breakoffs on Tuscan Control. They've only done the standard A breakoff 5 out of 22 offensive rounds. So just be prepared for the unexpected and exploit Boston's offensive attack on Desert Siege. They've gone A twice in 29 rounds. They like to set up neutral. They like to play for that initial pick. There's a lot of VOD on Boston Breach when it comes to search and destroy, but you also can't count them out because they have previously been noted as one of the best S&D teams.
You're right, and take a look at Boston Breach right now, a team that got top 6 the first major, top 4 the next major. They're looking at an upwards climb, but the question is, can it continue on? They lose this game, they're out of it, Lando.
Yeah, they are, man, and it's crazy to think about that. As we talked about, I mean, 0-5 when it came down to opening hard points at those Major 3 qualifiers. You want to see the team turning around and really get some momentum on the board. We know this team, we know the potential that this roster has. We'll go and take a look at the keys to victory. First things first, play your life. They are last right now in non-traded kill percentage during those Major 3 qualifiers as well. They're going to need to have a great performance out of Xin, a .94 during those Major 3 qualifiers. He led the league in the Stage 2 qualifiers with a 1.33, and then finally show off Berlin hardpoint improvements in that map 4. They are currently on a 4-game losing streak on that very map.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's like this team throughout Stage 2, including the major, they had a 16-10 respawn map record.
Okay.
That's incredible. It's one of the best we had in the league, and then up until this point in Stage 3, it's 3-10. So there's been a huge fall off, and what seems weird about it is that Nero is playing incredibly well.
Good.
He's so aggressive. Like, the chemistry of this team, it just seems to have fallen off. I think it really starts with Xin. And a lot of teams, it doesn't start with the Maniar, but with this team, it has been Xin. When he was super frying, they found so much success. So if he's able to get it going, this team has a chance.
You're right. Now, Ali, did you want to say something? I saw you.
I was just going to be to the point of like that first key to victory for Boston Breach was, you know, player life. And I think that's like one of the most frustrating sentiments I have when watching them, especially in respawn, is when they're in the hill, they're always going through the aggressive chow, which like I get it to a point pushing out the lane once you have 4 dead. But like sometimes there'd be 1 player left in objective time going for the chow, going for the kill, rather than just playing their life in the objective. Because when you're not getting points, you know, make sure the other team isn't either. Sometimes your presence is more important than the kill. And I think that's something Boston Breach really needs to learn if they want to get back on the respawn winning streak.
I actually love that. Now it's going to be time for predictions. I'm going to be honest with all y'all right now. This is rough. Lando, my man, who you got?
I don't know, man. This is a tough one to call because obviously you called it right. I think this is going to be one of the best games that we have of the entire day. I think just strictly based off of what we saw at those Major 3 qualifiers,